into making the decision? I mean, for a while there, it seemed uncertain whether you'd be back.
Basically what happened is I just, felt an extreme loyalty to the cast and the crew, and I had more stories to tell, and schedules could be worked around, so it was quite simple.
What have you discovered about these characters? What are you going to let them... it's hard when a series is successful. You want to keep it the same, and you want to change it at the same time. What's that push-pull for you?
The great thing I think about our show is every year we try and push the boundaries of what television does, and we have great support in doing that. And I think our show is very character-based. That said, I think this year it's really going to be about there's offshoots of the practices. Of course, last we saw Julian's character. He was apparently being killed by the Carver.
That's what I did get.
So we're trying to figure that out. But
I'm on a different show.
I hope that answers it.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, I read that. Roma Mafia. She's up here. Thank you.
What about now?
I don't know about that one. Julian McMahon and Dylan Walsh are tied, I'll say that.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
I have
you.
a question. How do you choose, because there's such a fine line in the subject matter, because it basically deals with a person's self-esteem at the bottom of the day, and you're dealing with something that is virtually never talked about in mainstream society, and it's so excellent the way you do it, and I just wonder how you straddle that line in terms of getting the message out there.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think that, we just have excellent actors on our show, and I think we write really, really tough material for them, and they deliver every episode, and I think that it's a
He writes it, and he makes us straddle it. That's what happens.
And I think sometimes it's a fine line between art and exploitation, and we really try and take the high road. I don't know. Thank you.
To what extent do you guys think that FX is taking the torch from HBO in terms of being a purveyor of quality dramas?
Well, I think that, for me, FX is now the place to go for Vanguard programming in town. I think that, with our show and The Shield and Rescue Me, that team has shown that they're pretty fearless, and I think that they support artists, and I think that Peter Lagori is a great supporter of the First Amendment. We get hammered almost every week now with these different organizations. I just think, he lets us tell our stories, and he never says no. If you do things in a responsible way, he allows you to have your opinions. They're all great.
Ryan, how far ahead do you think out your plot lines? When you've got Julian on the floor with a knife at his throat or whatever, how far ahead do you plan it and know that arc you can live with where it goes next and whatever?
Well, I love the quote that Dylan Walsh said that, we jumped the shark when we did the pilot, when we had hams and people being fed to alligators. So the pilot was great because I think there was no place we could not go. Usually when before we write a word of a year, Greer and Michael and I sit down and we talk about the whole year. We know what's going to happen in the finale of season 3 that we're going to start shooting in the spring. So we think, we don't do anything without knowing where we're going. And I think that's why the show was really sort of topsy-turvy. And both drama and soap opera. I think you gotta know where you're going when you're doing that genre.
Actors, can you tell us what people
Please
say
step
to
up.
you when you kind of, one at a time, when they walk up to you on the street, because there's some shock and giggling and...
They want to know how they can get in touch with Julian McMahon when they see me.
I just want to know who Grizzly Adams is up here. The wonderful thing about the response I felt like from people, particularly in regards to this show, is that it's so passionate and it's so raw and it's so real that obviously the show is giving some people something to connect to, giving something that they feel like they can invest their time in, and that's the wonderful thing about it is that people are loving what you're doing, and that's why we do it, basically. So.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. We're getting kicked out now. You don't want to tell you this, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.